Bob Arum says Shakur is fighting in November for the WBC lightweight strap. Let's talk.
Push the weight enough flex, flex. Alive is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This was an interesting read from boxingnews24.com. I'll put the link in the description if you care to go review it yourself. Bob Arum says Shakur Stevenson, or Shakur Sanchez, as I like to call him, for reasons y'all know why, will fight in November for the WBC lightweight title against the best available fighter. So they don't know who it is, but they're saying it's the best available. So far, the number 4 WBC ranked Frank Martin is the opponent that is rumored to be facing Shakur for the WBC 135 strap, because Devin has moved on to, moved on to 140. They're not going to allow him to do dual duty, meaning be undisputed at 135 while putting in work at 140. And I guess that Devin is cool with that. I'm cool with that because he did it already. Let me remind you, Devin Haney traveled a road that most fighters would not. Against all odds, he beat it. Against our better judgment, I did not want to see him go to Australia in the first place, but he did with a skeleton crew. And not only did he win undisputed over there, he defended it over there in Australia. And then he came back home and defended it against Vasily Lomachenko and was victorious. I know that makes some people mad, but I'm just saying that I want to grind that axe. I want to grind that axe right in your chest, because that's what happened and that's what he did. So at this point, I'm cool with him going to 140, especially since the Haneys sat down with Bob Arum and they asked for a 4th option to fight Shakur, and Bob said no over brunch. And then there was another offer straight to Shakur for 25%, and Shakur said no. Now I need you to listen carefully. Shakur said no. There wasn't no, but I would take 30 or 40. He said no. He just said I'm worth more. And it was his fan base that said no, he's worth 50%. How? He hasn't done a quarter of what Devin has accomplished at 135. Listen to what I just said. He hasn't done a quarter of what Devin has accomplished at 135, at 135, at 135, at 135. When I repeat myself, I'm saying that for a reason. Because I know the Shakur fans are going to fly in here and talk about what he lowballed and what he should have done. No. What Shakur should have done is win the gold. Since y'all want to talk about past accomplishments that have nothing to do with what he's done at 135. But let's not go here or there. Let's stick to the topic. They're saying Frank Martin is the front runner. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Let me get through this. He said Martin would be an excellent option, and he's coming off of a thrilling 12-round unanimous decision over Arum Harutianyan last July. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. I'm sorry because I butchered it, and I don't care. If Martin doesn't take the fight, another opponent from the WBC's top 15 will be picked. Unfortunately, there are several of the high-profile contenders that will be likely rejecting taking the fight with Shakur. that would likely reject taking the fight with Shakur. Wow. Let's go down to options for Shakur. They said they will likely reject it. Wow. All right, so Frank Martin is there. Okay. William Zepeda, Edwin De Los Santos, Jermaine Ortiz, Suchiro Yoshino, Raymond Muratala, and George Kambosos. Well, get George Kambosos out of there because Jim, his father, told Shakur that he should have taken the 25%. So get that out of there. I don't know what Jermaine Ortiz is up to, and Sudicio and Raymond De Los Santos and Zepeda. And I don't think Frank Martin's ducking any smoke. He's a front runner. But let me stop there for a second. Everyone likes the Frank Martin fight. But here's the deal, and I need you to pay attention. I'm willing to bet that 25% that Devin Haney offered Shakur Sanchez, and I say that with all disrespect because of how Shakur has conducted himself. I bet you that 25% that Devin was offering him is way more than what he'll make versus Frank Martin. Yep.
Whoa! What?
And you want to know why? I'll tell you why. And I need you, Shakur Sanchez fans, to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Even if it's maybe a couple of $1,000s more or a couple of $1,000s less, what would he have been potentially getting with that deal? A shot at becoming undisputed. Roll that up and smoke it. You goofed up. And now I'm here reading this article talking about there are several people that might not even take the fight with Shakur, because you know what's sad? Shakur is that good in the ring. He's that good. Him versus any of the top names at 135 is 50-50. If Devin was there, that's a 50-50 fight. Tank, 50-50. Frank Martin, 50-50. And here's the funniest part. Well, you know what? Let's read. It said it's possible that Arum may need to drop down to Jermaine Ortiz or Raymond Murata. Forgive me, it's early. It's early, man. I'm doing this video early in the morning. Before he finds someone that will agree to fight Stevenson. Isaac Cruz could be facing Gervonta Tank Davis next. Yikes. That's a whole nother video, y'all. So he's not an option for Shakur. Also, former unified lightweight champion George Kambosos and contender William Zepeda are fighters that aren't expected to agree to fight Shakur. So basically, according to this article, they're saying that these guys might just duck Shakur. High risk, low reward. How does that feel, Shakur, to be a low reward? So if you're a low reward for these guys, the potential to lose to you is very high. Very, very high. The potential in losing to you is very, very high. So fighting you is not in their best interest. Losing to you is high. Money, low. Why would they want to do that? George Kambosos is not fighting for anything under $5 million, I'm going to assume. Because he's a former unified champion. I'm going to assume. You don't talk to him unless you got $5 to $7 million on the table to even speak to him. And unfortunately, it's not worth it versus Shakur. How many pay-per-views Shakur been on? Now, I know a lot of you Shakur Sanchez fans ain't like what I'm saying. What I'm saying is prove me wrong. Basically, you was asking for a handout from Devin. And guess what? Devin was basically going to give it to you, 25% and a shot at undisputed. And Shakur said no. And now look, you're faced with a bunch of guys that are not going to want to fight you. But you're going to get Frank Martin, and that's a fight you could probably lose for way less money than what Devin was offering you. Stop it, y'all. And a shot at Undisputed. Talk about painting yourself into a corner. For you young cats, look up what that phrase even means. It says here, Lomachenko is balking about fighting this year. He wants to take off. He can't get focused on fighting. I don't think it has anything to do with Shakur, said Bob Arum to Steve Kung Fu Kim. Wah! Don't like him either. Ruling out a return this year for Vasily Lomachenko. So what they're saying is that Loma wants to take time off. You want to know why I think that that's BS? Shakur reached out to Loma and he said thanks but no thanks, because he was focused on Devin Haney, who's at 140. How you focus on Devin Haney if you're at 140? And you said you don't want to go to 140. You said you'd rather go down to 126 and fight Monster Nui. That's what Vasily said. So what's going on here? So is anybody, Shakur Sanchez fans, are y'all ripping Lomachenko for ducking Shakur? Where your videos? Are y'all in this DM? Are y'all bad-mouthing him? No. No smoke for the Matrix. Right? They're saying here in this article he's taking the remainder of the year off, but he told Shakur he's focused on Devin Haney. After Devin Haney specifically said he's going to 140. But Shakur, you're going to get a fight in November against a harder, potentially a harder fight, a hard fight against Frank Martin that is nowhere near as financially valuable as Devin Haney's 25% that he offered you. All right, so they want to put Shakur in the ring by November. It says down here also, it says, I have no idea. Mayweather's plan is to stretch everything out until the opponent has nothing left, said Arum when asked about a potentially matching Shakur versus Tank Davis. Oh, by the way, that's cross-promoting, y'all. That's Mayweather Promotions, PBC, and Top Rank doing business. So that sides of the street stuff, please kill that argument. Stop it. You know, so hello, Shakur. Welcome to Top Rank, where your promoter, you leaving it up to him to do right by you. And good luck with that. Good luck with that. Bud, your man, did you really talk to Bud? He didn't tell you about this? Now you're at Top Rank. And now look, there's a list of names. The only name that's more than likely going to give you some work is Frank Martin. And that's a fight you could probably lose. I'm not saying you're going to lose it. Shakur is nice with his. But his moves are getting on my nerves. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? All the talent in the world, but your business decisions is getting on my nerves. Sound familiar? We just got through this. We just been through this. I'm looking at a tweet Shakur put. He said, they clearly trying to freeze me out. If y'all don't see it, y'all dumb. But I can't be mad because everybody been tried to put me, I'm reading the house written, y'all. Everybody been tried to put me on game years ago. I'm going to make mine on the chin. I'm going to take mine on the chin and stay focused. Young man, everybody put you on the game and you still ended up at Top Rank?
Whoa!
Don't! Look at you now. Talent don't mean nothing if you don't get the right opponents to match up with you. You're over there on Top Rank. Did you really talk to Bud about what Bob tried to do to him or did to him? Did you really talk to Bud about what Arum said? You wasn't that young. He said it. You could read, Google it. The amount of money I spent on Bud, I lost on Bud. I could have bought a house in Beverly Hills. This is a promoter saying something about pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. That he had. Shakur, Bud versus Errol got done because of Errol. Don't get mad. Look it up. How many times did he thank Errol? Those brothers had to go around everything to get that fight done. Did you really talk to Bud? You said everybody tried to put me on game years ago. Really? Then how the hell did you end up in Top Rank, man? You got Floyd about to give us Tank versus Isak the rematch. Like, we checking for that. Isak checking for it. That's another payday for him. I'm happy for him if he gets the fight. But come on, y'all. Come on. Put you up on game. Here's game for you. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis did over 1 million buys. And we knew how that fight was going to end. Only a handful of people thought that Ryan would win that fight. Not only did Tank win that fight, he won it with a body shot and made Ryan Garcia quit. Are you okay? Remember all of that? 1 million buys, y'all. Meanwhile, Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol the Truth Spence, the two best in the game, got together for an undisputed fight. History was made. When Bud won it, 700,000 buys. You want to talk to me about the business of boxing? You want to talk to me about the fan base? Shakur, you're a talent. But every interview I see you in, I cringe. As it pertains to you, PR doesn't mean Puerto Rican. PR means public relations. And I don't know who you have that's not monitoring your boca. I don't know if you're listening to that person. But if they're telling you to say what you say, they need to be fired. If you're not listening to them, that's something else. You're blowing it, kid. It was a 50-50 fight, especially since Devin is struggling to make 135. 50-50 fight, man. You could have won that fight. You probably could have won it. This picture I have of you here is symbolic. You blew it in the Olympics, and you're blowing it right now. This picture is symbolic. 135, 25%, you'd have got a lot of money. You'd have got more money than you're about to get versus Frank Martin if you take that fight. And you could have became undisputed. How's that for bottle service? Now you got nothing. I'm sorry, you might have Frank Martin. A fight that you could probably lose. Probably. People are going to pick you to win it because you're that good, kid. You're that good, kid. You're that good. But you're blowing it. Get your head right. If you're not listening to your PR people, stop and listen. Just because it's a mic in your face don't mean you have to talk all the time. Clowning aside, I don't want what's worse for this kid. I want what's best for this kid. And he's talked himself out of some things already. And I don't care what anyone says. Top Rank, that's strike one. And in my opinion, you blew the Devin Haney fight. He was going to drain down to 135 and give you a shot at his undisputed strap. You may have won that, Shakur, but you blew it. To me, that's strike two. You F around and lose to Frank Martin if that fight happens? Oh, boy. I might call a ball on that. I don't know. I say, hey, man, maybe Frank Martin's that good. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Shakur, get it together. Get it together, young king. Get it together. There's time for you to fix this. Talking about people ducking you. Your fan base ain't helping you. Before I get out of here, word has it that Loma and Cambozo are in talks to do something in Australia. How about that? If that's true, how about that, Shakur? What do you think about that? You went to Team Cambosos, they said take 25% from Devin. I did a short video about that. Nobody, I repeat, nobody got on Cambosos' bumper. Now, Lomachenko, you reached out to him, he told you no. And I'm reading this article now, Bob talking about, hey man, Loma's gonna take the year off. Okay. So come January, February, what if they announce Cambosos versus Lomachenko? Are your fans gonna rip them? Interesting. Y'all got everything to say about Devin. Man, get your head straight. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.